What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's Genevieve here, and today we are doing another speed build. I'm going to say that in every intro of my videos, so just to warn you guys, you're going to hear that every single time I introduce myself. But anyways, so today we're creating a pretty big suburban home, and the color scheme is basically red and blue, as you can see in the title. So I just decided to create something that is definitely out of my comfort zone. I don't usually create suburban homes. I know I did one a few days ago, but it's not my norm in terms of builds, so I decided to create another one. I definitely do love creating suburban homes. It's just something different, and it definitely gives you that experience of just making it a homely home, if that makes sense. So yeah, so right now we're just busy with the exterior. I did change it up a bit. So in my builds, as you know, I kind of do piece by piece. So I start with like the entrance, and then I basically work around that area. So today I actually decided to create the entire exterior and interior separately. So I worked on the exterior first, as normal people do. So a lot of sim gurus that I watch build the exterior first, and they work on everything on the outside, and then they move on to the interior. So basically what I did was that. So it's something completely different, and I actually really enjoy doing it that way, just so that I know that the outside of the house is completely done and complete, and I don't need to faff anymore with the outside. So yeah, it was definitely something different. So right now we're just busy carrying on with the exterior, trying to just make the outside of the home look as suburban as possible. So now we're just starting off with the roofing, and I did include a small little balcony on the top on the second floor, just so that your Sims can sit outside and stare at the view if there is one. So I did create this home in Windenburg. Yes, Windenburg. I actually got the name right. And I just named this lot Old Town. So if you guys are interested in having this lot in your game, you can go to the Origin or the Sims Gallery and download this home. So it's called Old Town, and my Origin ID name is Genevieve007, so you can definitely look me up that way, but all the information will be in the description box below. So as you can see, we almost finished with the roofing. The roofing, I actually feel like that's my weak spot when it comes to The Sims. I definitely haven't practiced enough in terms of building roofs and making it look as decent as possible. So it's definitely something that I really am trying my best to achieve and to perfect. But yeah, I also just wanted to mention this is base game only. This is my first base game only build that I've done, so I'm really excited for you guys to see that. I know a lot of you really enjoy watching just base game builds, because I will admit myself, I do not have every single I don't have Island Living, so that's my next expansion to get, and then I don't have all the game packs and the stuff packs, so that's my achievement to get them. But I know when you watch videos and you love a home and you want to include it in your game, obviously you have that restriction because you don't have all the game packs and things like that. So I definitely really loved doing this build, and especially when working with base game, you actually don't realize how much objects and things that you don't use in normal builds because of everything else that comes with the other expansion packs and things like that. So you definitely end up using a lot more things that you don't necessarily use. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, so we almost finished with the exterior of this home. We're going to start with the landscaping. I just want to mention that the base of this house, as you can see, is rock-like. That was from Get Famous, if I'm not mistaken, or Seasons. So I did realize that in the end, and I changed it to a base game wallpaper for the bottom of the home. So bear that in mind, I am going to change it. So yeah, so this base game build was really fun, and I feel like it's a decent suburban home in terms of just using all the base game objects and decals and things like that. It's really interesting on what you can find. So yeah, so right now we're busy with the landscaping for this home, and yeah, so I'm just going to add a small little fountain at the back there, or in the front. And then I am going to do some landscaping, and then I'm going to start on the interior, so I don't complete the entire landscaping first. I work on that piece by piece. So yeah, so I definitely love this build, and it has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. So it's definitely a big enough suburban home for a perfect family. So all the bedrooms are upstairs, and then there's 1 bathroom downstairs, and then the dining areas and the lounge areas are definitely big enough for a large family. So I really enjoyed that. And now we're just working on the back of the home. So I did include a small little splash pool, if you want to say. So it's very, very tiny. As you can see, we don't have a lot of space, but I did want to include a pool. And yeah, so now we're just gonna finish up with the landscaping, and I do make the end of this the back of the home a bit bigger as well, to include a braai area or barbecue. And yeah, so this is basically what the end result will look like for the exterior of this home. I definitely love that wallpaper. It's like a blue and purple mixture, which is something completely different to, as I mentioned, what I'm used to. So the wallpaper is something that I don't usually use very often in my builds, and normally it's just a plain blue wall with a lot of white exterior like windows and things like that. So it definitely changed up this build a lot, and I just feel like it looks like a barn kind of feel as well, which I think is what you go for when you do suburban homes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's basically what this home looks like, especially with the red windows. So yeah, so now we're just doing the white shells all around the home, just to give it a bit of, I don't know, just to break that blue and red vibe, just to put some white on the exterior. And then after this, I think we are going to move on to the interior. So the downstairs, the kitchen is very small, but it's decent enough for your Sims to move around. And then I did try out this home. It's the first time I've ever done it. So I actually just created a Sim and I moved them into this home and I play tested it. So there was a few things that I had to move, such as like the bottom bathroom. I had to move the bathroom cabinet a few steps away from the toilet, otherwise they did not want to use that toilet. So, and then I just wanted to mention, in the teenagers' room upstairs, I did have to, or when your Sims, there's a computer in that room, so when your Sims sit on the computer, they always get out on the wrong side and then they can't walk past the bed. So they're like literally stuck there and they have no brains to get out on the right side. So just watch out for that when you play this in this home. So always just watch where your Sims are, and if they're in that room, they might be stuck there for like the next day because they just can't get out on the left hand side. They can, but they choose not to. So you have to tell them to literally go here and then they'll get out on the right side. It's very strange, but yeah. So now we finished with the landscaping on that side. So I just included a few lounger chairs outside for your Sims to tan, and if you do have Island Paradise, as you know, your Sims can catch a sunburn or a tan, so they can do that in this home. And yeah, so now we're moving on to the interior. So I actually made the rooms and designed the interior first before I even began the rooms, which is also what I'm not used to doing. So what I normally do is I look at the inside of a home and then I just be like, okay, the kitchen's here, and then I'll start in the kitchen, and then I'll try to find a space where the lounge is supposed to go and where the bathroom's supposed to go. So I actually did design the whole bottom downstairs first, so I knew exactly where the kitchen went, where the lounge went, where the dining room was supposed to go. So yeah, I definitely changed it up a whole lot in this build, especially that it's base game. I actually just decided to do something completely different. And then yeah, so as you could see, I removed the walls from the stairs and the roofs came straight through the home. I have no idea why that happened, but yeah, it happened. So I had to just faff a bit more and remove the roofs from coming inside. As you can see, the edges of the roofs are still poking through, but we do cover that up at least, so at least that's not a major setback. So yeah, so now we're just still carrying on with how the inside's going to look. I will do the upstairs now, so I'm just designing where the rooms are going to be. So basically this household has one teenager. I made her a girl, so you can always change the color scheme if you want a teenage boy. And then there's a double bed in one room, so if there's a relationship somewhere in this household, they can stay in the double room, and then there's an ensuite bathroom. And then there's also a twin bedroom, also girls, so you can change that to males or boys if you want as well, just change the color schemes. and the master bedroom, and they both lead onto the same bathroom, which I feel is very nice. So if your mom needs to wash the children in the bath, at least she has an exit and an entrance to the kids' room and her room. So I thought that was a very good idea. It reminded me of a home that I lived in when I moved to Australia. So it had that double door into the bathrooms from the master and from the passageway. So yeah, so right now we're just starting off with the kitchen. So very plain and simple decors. I did realize in base game they don't really give you much cluttered items, which I absolutely love cluttering my countertops and dining tables and things like that, and it just wasn't enough to actually clutter a lot. So yeah, so as you can see, I removed this section here. I was actually going to make it into a laundry room, and then I realized I'm doing a base game Omi, so obviously it does not come with the laundry stuff, so I had to remove that wall, and I just put a small dining section. I know the two chairs at the back do not work, but it just looks very pretty, and yeah, so it just fits the kitchen very nicely. So yeah, the kitchen is very blue, and also the dining room as well is quite blue, but also very small. But I do add a second dining room in the lounge area as well, so that's also pretty cool. So then I also did the flooring, which is a white wooden floor, which I think looks really cool, and it definitely fits that suburban feel. And then we just add in a bit more of the decor and everything like that, just to fill the space. As you know, I cannot have a room where there's a wall that's empty. So there'll either be something that needs to go there, or a picture, or whatever the case is, but I cannot have it empty. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And then once we're done with the kitchen, we're going to move on to a little study area, so an office-like area. So the father that lives in this home is very business savvy, and he works at home a lot. So I definitely wanted to include a study area for him, but also it's open enough for him to see like the kids running around, and just to have an oversight of everybody that lives in this home. So yeah, so right now we're doing the study area that I just mentioned. It's very brown, and then the wallpaper is going to be that light brown, which is very cool. And yeah, I absolutely love how this home turned out, and I really hope you guys love it too. Thank you so much for all the support that I've received over the past few weeks. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm absolutely loving playing The Sims again. I mean, I know a lot of us go through those phases where you buy The Sims and then you addicted to it for like 2 months straight. You'll play it for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and then after those 2 months are done, you literally just drop the game, you forget about it, and then you don't play it for the next year, you know. So but that was me a few years ago, but now I'm definitely like so into it, and I'm absolutely loving the speed builds and just putting your mind to create something that's completely different and that you haven't seen before. So I definitely love doing that, and I always get so excited for you guys to see my builds, especially the Pride Month build that I did recently. That was my absolute favorite, and I was so excited for you guys to see it. So if you haven't watched it, definitely go take a look. So I created a home, a very colorful home, specifically for Pride Month for June. It was a bit late, but I explained that whole situation on why it was late. But yeah, it's very colorful, and it's just a perfect home for a bunch of teenagers to live in, and it will look so amazing in your Sims world. So definitely take that video a look and let me know what you think. So right now, while I've been babbling on, we've just completed the lounge area for this build, and now we're just adding that small dining table that I mentioned. So I mentioned that we are having a second dining room kind of sort of area, so at least they can sit there and watch TV if they want to. So yeah, and then we're also adding a fishbowl. Obviously, we can't put any cats and dogs things in this build because it's base game, so at least I can have a fish. I haven't thought of a name for him yet, but yeah, we'll get there, or if you have any ideas below, please let me know. But yeah, so now we're almost finished with the decorating the lounge area and the dining room area. So it's very white in the living room, which I absolutely love because it just makes the space look a lot bigger than what it actually is. And the fact that it leads on to the father's like study area or workspace is very cool. So right now we're moving on to the first bathroom, which is downstairs. I did include a bath as well because of how many Sims this house can take. So I definitely wanted to make sure there was enough space for all the Sims to meet their needs if all the other bathrooms upstairs are taken. So yeah, so this bathroom is very blue and white. And then, as I mentioned, I have to move that cabinet over a little bit, otherwise your Sims will not use the bathroom, so they won't be able to go to the toilet. So yeah, so we moved that around, and now we're just creating the second lounge area. So this one's very pink and very beige. I did not include a TV in this section, but yeah, so there's a lot of things for your Sims to do in this little area here just to fill the space. And yeah, so after this we're going to move on to the braai area or barbecue area outside, and then we're going to move on to the bedrooms upstairs. So yeah, I really hope you guys are enjoying this video. It's not relatively long, at least. I struggled to do voiceovers for about 20 minutes because I just ran out of things to say and I keep repeating myself. Voiceovers are actually so difficult, and I'm sure a lot of Simmers have mentioned that. And then sometimes you slur your words and you just sound like an idiot. So I hate talking for way too long because I just babble, and some of the stuff that I even say is not even relevant to what you are watching. So yeah, I like to keep it simple and just tell you a bit of background with regards to this build, and as soon as I get that out, then I basically just carry on babbling on. So yeah, so right now we're busy with the outside of this build. So I did include a large dining area outside for your Sims to have a party or whatever they want to do outside, and then at least they can get down to the pool area if it's very hot. And yeah, also very white and simple. I don't know in terms of suburban homes if you're supposed to keep it like really rustic inside. I'm not too sure, but as you know, I like to be a bit modern in my builds, so I definitely go about that when it comes to the furniture. So it's basically very modern inside as usual, and then the outside is very suburban like. And yeah, so now we're just adding a few more plants and decorative items on the outside just to fill those spaces. And then I do add a chess table here as well, if I'm not with, yeah. So we're just adding a chess table for your Sims to sit outside and socialize and get their knowledge, or whatever you call it when you play chess. I can't remember. I don't really play much in The Sims. I definitely love the building aspect more than playing around in the game itself. But I think I'm definitely going to get back into that just to bring my mind up and just understand what's happening in The Sims in general. I think I've lost that a bit. The last Sims that I played, oh my gosh, in terms of all these expansion packs, was Get to Work, where you can just go to work with your Sims and you basically do all the tasks to make sure that they finish their work during that day. So that's basically what I remember the last time that I played The Sims. But yeah, so now we're moving upstairs. So as I mentioned, there's 4 bathrooms and 4 bedrooms. So we're starting off with the teenager's room. So her room is very pink and very girly. So I really like the feel of that. And then after this, we're going to move on to the bathrooms and then the twins' rooms. So their room is very purple, but as I mentioned, if you would rather prefer twin boys, then you can change the color scheme as well. And yeah, so now we're just going to finish with the upstairs and decorating all the bedrooms and the bathrooms. I did include all the clips of the bathrooms in this build, by the way. Normally I like to cut them out because they always look the same. But in this build, every bathroom is unique and very different in the layout as well. So yeah, so if you're wanting to see that, then just keep on watching. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.